This government is the laziest and weakest leadership this country has seen since 1992. The president is weak. First of all, he is a weak leader. Mahama is his excellency. He's a weak leader. He's clueless. He's completely distracted. He's focusing on other things. Where is the experience? Otherwise, you are the president that saw June 3rd, 2015. The greatest, biggest disaster we have seen with flooding in the history of this country happened on June 3rd, 2015 under your leadership. Mahama has not been president.
But he lost.
Oh, please,
2 million votes.
Please. He has not been president.
See, some of the things
can you stop this? Can you stop?
I'm not going to stop.
Hamza, don't do this. Why are you worried? Why? I sat and listened to you for 15 minutes. I start respecting me.
Listen, akobom ewo channel 1 TV na enkomo no ekoso ho no ni na no eye so wo bekaya na no me brawu maame na na ya adwantoa ya wo busa nsem se adenti na du NDC nko abreso John Dramani Mahama breso a flooding no eba gidigidi sei na wo ye mfanto se June 3rd di baby June 3rd no na wo busa se amanyoko ban na wo de June 3rd na kwakoye neoma ema June 3rd nko aduru ye John Dramani Mahama breso na ensem wanti se esina eno na akobom ewo channel 1 TV na nkomo no a ekọ so rebusua mesere se hi Smart Africa Media wada ro mabaso subscribe like na fe share ma fofora won mu echichi ene benti emi di odoma nko bada na kofufu asante gudi Miracles Dennis Aboagye na wone NDC empanimfo no bia akobom ewo channel 1 TV no wodra se wo ba benya oye very weak government eye NDC amayuko no wo kirem ana wodra se aban bia baso ade ntia maame na ya adwantoa ebusa saa no ho response na aba no wodra se na adwan kokofo do emfie nwotwe a obetena so na de ntia ensuo enjiri de ntia bibi sei amba no kire se wonim se bosome ya eye ensu tobre bosome ne besoa wo boaboa ho te se abo ntatea wo boaboa ho de wasa wodi tuye de wasa wodi ho dwumama bibi emkosi tena no wo ye na eno na water se wo pa benya wo ye very weak government wonim de wo ya NDC aban na in fact yenkotie ne nkomo no mra ya ba ye bedi nkomo de wo se tre ya adwene ho ye betre ya adwene de wo kan ya ye ne ya adwene no we going to let you know ye ne ya adwene de ne ya adwene so ye be ma wonso no wehunu comment section ehye ho wadaworoma na wo de wonso wono disem e de ato de ame tie nsem a ekoso.
The president is weak. First of all, he is a weak leader. Mahama is his excellency. He's a weak leader. He's clueless. He's completely distracted. He's focusing on other things. I don't think he's even worried about. Let me speak. You see, and there's a very serious matter. Hamza says so much and actually comes to nothing when it comes to the real situation at hand. Listen, and you see, these guys, they treat us like we are some zombies in this country and we just follow the crowd.
Bring him back
and move
to the
around.
Mahama attack.
This is what he said. This is what Mahama said when he was in opposition. He says that I am making a pledge to end this perennial flooding in Accra. And then he says, Mahama said his government will find engineering solutions to the persistent flooding issues, especially in Accra, if he is re-elected as president in the December 2024 elections. He made a Facebook post, May 27, 2024. This is what he said. We cannot afford to continue risking the lives and livelihoods of our people. It is time for real change and real solutions. Commenting on the floods in Accra, Mahama criticized the MPP's government's failure to manage, and this is where it is key, and prevent floods effectively. And he highlighted a deep concern about the government's lack of comprehensive flood prevention and management plan. This is Mahama speaking. This is the man that has the power now. He has 4 flooding seasons, or let me say 4 rain seasons. Is that correct, engineer? 2 of them, he has failed miserably, and he's still giving us hope. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
It does.
Why wouldn't any citizen scream? Why won't citizens be bitten by fly? Why won't citizens be frustrated? You have 4 rainy seasons. It's not as if the country has been well to you forever. You have 4 rainy seasons. 4.
He might have 8.
Please. You are sitting in opposition. He already has 8.
No, I'm saying that
this man is already in his 6th year of leading this country. This clueless president, he is already in his 6th year of leading this country, and he's now looking for what the problem is. Pathetic. And you're talking about people. In fact, I've been bitten by cheche fly mosquitoes. Which other ones are created by? Which other ones are created? Cheche fly bees.
I'm glad that he has accepted.
I've been bitten by
not
all
just
of them.
in relation
You know
to
why?
this matter.
Because I
Many
have a
others.
very clueless, useless government that has no plan for the country. How can you be in opposition for 8 years after you have been president for 4 years? So 12 years you've been at the forefront of this country. You've been talking plenty. I just quoted one to you. He has one video that is on one of your portals saying plenty about flooding when he was in opposition. This is a man that has been president for 4 years, that has been in opposition for 8 years. It means that you've had an opportunity 12 years to identify all the problems in this country. Now you are voted into office, and in your second year, you are now telling us that you are going to find solutions. Pathetic. Pathetic. 3 syllables.
But is it fair to expect a solution in 2 years?
But why, of course. In fact, if there is any president that this country expects solution from him every month, it is this president. Let me tell you, nobody wanted Mahama back. The only reason why Mahama was brought back was because people thought that he had experience, he had learned something.
So people wanted.
Oh, please, I beg you.
So your premise is
oh, please, I beg you.
Nobody
please,
wanted
I beg you. I beg you. I said the only reason why. Listen, stop disrupting me.
I'm not.
Why are you fidgeting? Why are you jittery? Why are you? Your eyes are all red already. Relax. See, Mahama, everybody knew he was a useless leader. Because in his it's useless. Useless means that you have no use. The man was in power from 2012 to 2015. Basically sank this country into a deep hole. Do you know why Mahama lost with 1 million votes in the past? Because he was completely useless.
So Baumia is completely useless.
Baumia has not been president.
But he lost.
Oh, please,
2 million votes.
Please. He has not been president.
See some of the things
can you stop this? Can you stop this?
I'm not going to stop.
Hamza, don't do this.
Why are you worried? Why? I sat and listened to you for 15 minutes. I start respect me. Show me respect. Show me respect. Show me respect. Show me respect. Show me respect.
Around this table, even the words he's using against His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, you know I will not use those words against Dr. Mahmoud Buhari.
That's what I've told him.
And especially when it's not grounded in facts. You don't do that. This is how you win.
Let's take a break here. We'll come back.
There are young people who are listening to us.
I think that this government has a golden opportunity to deal with the issue of floods decisively. First and foremost, like Senior Comrade indicated, the issue of planning. These are institutional failures, and so it goes beyond the remits of the political parties, because we come and go, but the institutions remain. But what are some of the investments we inject as far as these institutions are concerned to ensure that they work according to plan? And that is why I was excited when I heard His Excellency President Mahama say that, look, he expects the report, and quite apart from that, he's also moving ahead to identify some critical areas, taxing some ministers to identify some critical areas where we can concentrate on for now in our efforts to deal with the issue of floods. So yes, my sympathies to those who have had to endure a lot as a result of this particular unfortunate incidents. But one thing we must not also lose sight of is the issue of desilting of our gutters. I have always maintained, even when Nanado was president, and Amakwata, who I got the name right, was minister responsible for roads and highways. Yes. Yes. You see, at the Ministry of Roads and Highways, there are things we take for granted that we shouldn't, even as political leaders. There used to be an avenue for the agencies to give what we call desilting contracts, though those contracts were given to party groups, foot soldiers. But the reality was that at the turn of every change, you saw youth groups in our various communities engage in activities like desilting of gutters. Those gutters were not done for free. These were contracts awarded into lots, even if they were party youths working. They were curbing, they were helping manage the situation, the possibility of floods in these neighborhoods. Those contracts, maybe because of the orientation of the political class today, appears to have vanished. We look down upon it. We feel that it is a waste when it comes to expenditure. But in reality, we do not have the necessary institutional frameworks to ensure that these gutters are desilted. And so it is important for us to revisit it. I remember during our time there, we gave many of these contracts out, and the people worked. So quite apart from the fact that you are getting an opportunity to get your gutters cleaned, you are also creating temporal employment for many of our teeming youth out there who are unemployed. But it appears now that we look down upon such interventions, and the more we look down upon them, the likelihoods of floods. Because you look, many of our district assemblies are not concerned when it comes to issues of flooding and the silting of our gutters. Indeed, even if they are concerned, they do not have the resources to do so. So there's a need for us to look at the resource angle to the issue of floods. And I'm pretty much convinced that the report will detail all that. But like many Ghanaians who are cautiously optimistic, the delay in releasing the report is something we can all express some kind of discomfort over. Especially considering the fact that we have had to wait for another year for floods to occur before we start talking about the release of such a report. And like I've always indicated around this table, this NDC government does not pretend to be a perfect one. There are many of the things we'll get right. There are many of the things that would require at least that we are prompted for us to act. The most important thing is that when we are prompted, we act. And so for me, I'm waiting to see how this government will deal with the issue decisively, because it is an issue we cannot afford to allow to continue.
Because this government is the laziest and weakest leadership this country has seen since 1992.
Oh, how?
Two of the most devastating flooding that this country has seen have all happened under this government, under this leadership, under this president. I agree with him. We've seen flooding at least from the late 80s to now. Accra has never been the same because we altered the engineering and architecture of the city. But what governments after governments do is to put in place mitigations, anti-strategies that would reduce the effect and impact of the flooding. The difference between the Rawlings government, Kufuor's government, Atamil's government, Akufo-Addo's government, and Mahama, not both 1 and 2, is that all the previous governments before the rain set in, as for rain, you don't control it. Accra doesn't flood because it rains. It will rain. What they do is that they put in place strategies and systems. You'd realize that months and weeks before the rain was set in, they will be doing massive storm drain dredging, massive desilting. They will be doing public sensitization education on flashpoints and areas and how people should. This government, because they are lazy, whenever they are in office, they sit down, they do nothing, pictures, optics, blogging, and then they don't do the real work. So by the time they realize the rains have set in, the entire city is engulfed, everybody is running around, then they start giving us inspirational and motivational messages like Hamza is doing. He's not the only one giving this message. Go and listen to all of them. They all say it will be well, it shall be well, it shall be well. This is the same president that campaigned on experience, told the whole country that vote for me because I have seen it before. One of the reasons why John Mahama, His Excellency, won the election was because people thought and believed that because he has been in the office before, he has foreknowledge, he has institutional knowledge, he has learned something, and so he would come on board with that experience. Zero. Where is the experience? Otherwise, you are the president that saw June 3rd, 2015. The greatest, biggest disaster we have seen with flooding in the history of this country happened on June 3rd, 2015 under your leadership. Immediately that happened, you set some fund aside. You even said that you are re-engineering Accra and did all manner of things. Put some committees together. They went around Accra, did some assessment. They did all those things. Then you left, another government came. Throughout the government period, there was still flooding. But immediately you came. Just 1 week of the flood setting in, about 4 people have died. 2 buildings have collapsed. What does it tell you? It tells you that there is something that this particular leadership fails to do. And I'll explain to you. You speak of an anti-flooding task force. This government from day one has invested in optics without the real work. They put themselves in a chopper and flew around Accra with bloggers. As the helicopter was lifting, there was a blogger. I saw the video. As the helicopter was landing, there was a blogger. When they got down, they moved with the military men. You saw Standogbe moving with Gota, one here, they are moving all over the place. Then the bloggers, when he finished, he granted an interview. He said that the president has directed us to immediately put in place systems and strategies to ensure that we mitigate against the flood.
Yeah.
Since this devastating flood situation happened, have you seen him? Show me one picture, one video of the anti-flood task force. Why? Why is it that when you were moving around to go and do the assessment, we saw you, but when you finished the assessment, we didn't hear from you until the rains have set in? What a serious government would do, what any leader that takes us seriously would do, is that we didn't ask you to let us know that you're moving around Accra. So if you decided to let us know that you're moving around Accra, when you finish, come and tell us what your report is. What is your short-term strategy? What is your medium-term strategy? What is your long-term strategy? Then we are all here. But you don't come and tell me after we have suffered, people have died. Go to Nana Krum. Some people haven't come out for the last 1 week. Now you are telling us that you are now going to present your report to the president. What were you doing all this while? At what point will that report kick in? The lives that have been lost, they don't matter. We didn't ask you to let us see all those glamorous things. You decided to let us see. So if we are asking you where you are now, we have every right to ask you.
And to this, one in the afternoon. What you say? And you must say, and Nama Abano a very weak. And what can what was it? Baby, I'm in the afternoon. And I say, Abayi by ye, dear, and I had drunk to Busayo, and in the afternoon. Quite answer no, the man not to say. NPP eba aban in fear watry. Nana ya NDC ni why John Dramani Mahama personal person. Ana na ebu sasa aban ben ena wodi NDC akwakoye bribima NDC nko aba June 3rd. In fact June 3rd 11 years any June 3rd ye ba na nsen de see ye ka so circle said filling station ja tom na nsuo atone jane na nsuo nani ena June 3rd we nso flood na ba ye ana wo so wonte ase enti the moon miracles Aboagye de aman tirese de enam so a NPP aban bibi sei ensi na wante bibi sei no etirese eyese wono mo bobo omo eno ne me ye fra wo so wo ya aban bare busua enkomo no akoso ho no ni na no nkomra ne wo man Ghana me sa wo ya aban na wo ba na wantoto wo nioma na BBC media me mpese ya mete eye BBC ya no o blame the past government enti de bia mekatros ade no wontimi nya don't venture wontimi nya embe president to so aba esanse ho yamba to so aba na wontimi nya aban we bai no ade ba ko mempe e won ho paaye abortion blames or the blames no ebe tunkrofo etire so I don't know if the right word they may use no or the blame and the way na here and the year from we no e ya aban we and aban we bai no so wanye ne say ya anke amam bedu say. You see, that is what we are living in as a country. And ekoso and to flood the enkosi da ban me say I saw a certain video yesterday. They say estate na God being so good say e ba ye fie ha bi anyam here yan shada ni baby property say ba ha dia na nke be say ade because me nyoma 1 2 3 bi egu no TV they say enso be fa no a me ni bibi abie eko estate na wo hwe estate wo pa ne enso se bi esie timi ewura estate ni mu ewura areas corners bi enso ewuram so wo sai ko baby fofura ma me ba ko de ne nyoma wo enso ne de na eko na etwe ne nyoma de eko enti enkosi da ban na aban bi ba ba ka se me ma fatum ho so baby a wo se he enye wo se ya na nkran ko na esiwo so wo ko wodoko ene ade a me hunu certain video bi a toda yankasa timemfo no so yaso yaka ho certain video bi a ma me fo bi sabi omo mpoku ene sisi so na ensuo to trese obi a hyedem to obi ehunu hwe ba me hu ye me hu yi ene omo mpoku esi so omo nhyada nye ma me fo gidigidi ene omo hye bola pa gu bottom ene ensuo no ayekọ no ene omo hwie gu enti we no se choki gata no a aban ne ba ye na was aban hu so okay this certain area what the upper fashion baby tro mark this the si won kran the ekoso flooding na ekoso no it is so won na aban we nka say okay aha na me hu say problem wo enti ma me nko solve this problem ensi wo wunya wo we are not going to get this ye nyi obi amane nka say okay flooding ne ba na ha eko ha nti yenye gata bi nto a enti so wakasa aban we weaker the person what trend say other na 2012 edeba na under John Dramani Mahama flooding ebaye na under same John Dramani Mahama ye frɛ bibi dum so eba under John Dramani Mahama 2012 to 2016 so ade we nyina akɔso enti aban ne ba 2024 no we thought say okay wakosua de eto no emfie bia na obedi ya ato no atwam no he is not going to repeat that same mistake again ede na ehu ye hunu dum so ema ye nya bobi ansa ode sen bobi ansa ebe ka kire Ghana for say eye napo na ye saade no nkrofo it is not true etoso mienu eye flooding me patro flooding so bi na tonsu ye mbusa as a country there are some things that we shouldn't politicize it and this is the aman yosem e patro eno so NPP na tonsu ana nti ati oman mu na NDC aba na okọ na NPP aba na okọ na we are facing that same problem that same challenges enti na ya adwan to so wanti ase sa de enti na du na ban ko aso a flooding tunted ehu sa and no response and miracles Denis Aboagye Ediaman. I think that you have a lot to see under the comment section. Your opinion is accepted. What I want my comment section na yanko kwachire ya dwene ha Smart African Media, and thank you very much for choosing us to be your #1 channel. And na obehunu de ekoso ene ade me patro what I want obaso a na wonso wadwen kire comment section wama yehunu the miracles Aboagye and aircan one in ya dwene it a response to me. It's a response that is going straight to Nana Yadran to question one. Obusai no subscribe, like, and share my for one way treating event. Me am also for the man come over Nana Kofi from Santigudi macro.